We're getting a placeable amphitheater, customizable challenge modes, the ability to favorite skins, a new lagoon attraction, and more. But no kelp foliage brush. Hello everyone and welcome to the latest news about free update 7 for Jurassic World Evolution 2. In yesterday's video I covered the exciting full announcement of the Prehistoric Marine Species Pack, and in today's video I will be doing a deep dive into update 7, which also comes out on August 10th on all platforms, but for free. If you are as hyped about the new content as I am, subscribe to the channel for all of the latest news, a full DLC showcase next week, and many creative builds and tips. Frontier had been teasing update 7 all day on their Twitter, and of course that will all be included in this video as well. We're just gonna go through it, and we're starting with custom challenge mode. Whether you finished up on your Jurassic difficulty challenges or are wanting to see whether your friend's park management skills are up to scratch, you'll be able to enjoy a brand new challenge with custom challenge mode. From selecting the map and up to 3 objectives to customizing over 40 settings so your challenge is totally unique, you'll be able to create and share your very own challenges. Each challenge you create will generate its own unique share code so you can send it to your friends and share it on your social media. Does this mean Evo will finally be playing challenge mode? Well, maybe, you know, I can switch off stuff like diseases, I can switch off scientists. We're actually gonna have a look at the clip that they shared for this new feature, because we're gonna get a sneak peek into some of the things, most of the things, that we can toggle according to our own preferences. So in the screen cap we can see that we're in the tab Park, and we can change things like unlimited power, infinite fuel, invincible vehicles, and we can also set things to, you know, the classic difficulty levels, like here the sabotage risk difficulty is Jurassic, which is a no-go for me. But you can see all of the different things that we will be able to change, and I'm gonna go through them quite quickly. You can pause this if you want to see all of them in depth. But yeah, just there's so much detail in here. Like even this terrain editing cost, you can set that to high, but you would be able to set it lower, so you know it actually costs you less money to make elevation in your park, as I always recommend you do. In the dinosaurs tab, you see this very briefly in the clip itself, but long enough to get a screen grab. You can say no egg failures. Like I said, you can turn off disease level, you can turn off injuries, you can even make it so that your dinosaurs don't need to eat. So very reminiscent of the sandbox settings. You can like bring that into challenge mode and make like the perfect challenge mode. Yeah, so much you can change. And as they cycle like through all of these different settings and they change them, the share code in the corner over here was changing along with it. And you can see here that this is the share code that that applies to this specific setting. But yeah, you'll be able to like take a screenshot of it or something and send that to a friend and be like, hey, let's both do this challenge mode and see who completes it first. Moving away from challenge mode and going into something that is more exciting for sandbox builders like myself. Actually, I think this is exciting for all builders in the game: lagoon viewing domes. With the incredible new species coming to your lagoons in the Jurassic World Evolution 2 Prehistoric Marine Species Pack, we're offering your park guests a whole new way to observe them with the Lagoon Viewing Dome. This brand new viewing area will function much like the remote viewing galleries included in our previous update, and all remote viewing entrances are now also able to snap to the edges of your lagoons, making your guest experiences even better. And this image is something that they already shared yesterday as well, and we've seen it like in the backdrop of the new species coming in the DLC, and it's super exciting that we're getting this new attraction for the lagoon. It's definitely something we've been needing to make the lagoons more interesting. But speaking of making lagoons more interesting, I will talk about that more later on after we've gone through this forum post, because there are some expectations, some wishes that are not exactly met. It's not as good as we had hoped, unfortunately. But the Lagoon Viewing Dome is excellent, and as described, it does function pretty much exactly like the log viewing gallery and the other viewing dome that we already have. You can see it in this clip that you can attach one entrance building. There would be a maximum length to that. and that is how your guests can access this remote underwater viewing dome. Skins are very important to me, as fans of the channel will know, so this is exciting stuff. Skin and dinosaur favoriting. As of Update 7, we'll be introducing 2 new features to make it easier than ever before to both manage your favorite skins and variations, and keep an eye on your favorite species once they're in your park. First up, you'll now be able to mark skin and pattern color variants as favorites in the species viewer, allowing you a way to save the variations that you prefer in a simple, easy to see way. When you're in the hatchery genome editing menu, you'll be able to choose to only randomize your favorited color variants, allowing you even more freedom over how your species look in your park. Honestly, Frontier will do anything except just add a skin preview in the hatchery. Like, literally, they will do anything except add a preview in the hatchery. But I think this is a pretty cool system, and again, they shared a clip where you can see how it works. They're in the species viewer, and they're like harding these like tiles for the colorations of the dinosaur, and then in game you can see as well that they can favorite and unfavorite that skin. Now, I did see some people say, oh my god, they switched from the species viewer directly into the game. Wow, that's something we wanted. Yes, that is something we want, but what's happening here is the magic of editing, because in the first shot from the species viewer, you can see that they're actually playing with mouse and keyboard, presumably on PC, and then they switch over to playing on a console. I don't recognize which, I'm sorry. So yeah, it's the magic of editing that goes into that switch. I don't think that the new thing is that we can easily switch from the species viewer into the game. You'll also now be able to favorite specific dinosaurs in your parks. This will allow you to receive notifications when those dinosaurs in particular are performing interesting behaviors. I always feel like somebody's watching me. As well as placing a beacon at their current location so you can easily head to them. Honestly, all of us stalking our favorite dinosaurs from now on. Your favorite dinosaurs will also appear with a green highlight on your map overview, so you can always check in on them when needed. Here we go, placeable amphitheater. We're not in San Diego anymore. Yep, that's right. With Update 7, you'll be able to place the it says amphitheater. Have I been saying it wrong all this time? What else is new? The theater in your sandbox parks as part of the Jurassic Park building style. We know this is something that's been highly requested, truly it is. So we're very much looking forward to seeing what you do with this iconic building in your parks. And in the image above, you can see the San Diego Amphitheater in the Pennsylvania setting, and in the clip they shared on Twitter, you can see it on Canada off the top of my head. Now, I will say my first reaction was, oh my god, yes, that's exciting. My second reaction, and I hate being that person, but I am that person. The second thought I had was, wait, but it still says San Diego. Why does it still say San Diego? I feel like that's a little bit of an oversight. I feel like that's a little bit of a shortcut. They could have spent a teeny tiny amount of time to either just remove any mention of San Diego or go into just a tiniest bit more trouble and actually add the appropriate location name. So you'd get Jurassic Park Canada, Jurassic Park Pennsylvania, that sort of stuff. With all of that being said, even including the Lagoon Viewing Dome, the next thing might be the most exciting thing, and that is dinosaur guest hostility. Want to make your prehistoric species a little more free range? Now with Update 7, you'll be able to. When starting a new sandbox park, you'll be able to toggle dinosaur danger to guests on or off, or set it to carnivores only. With this setting off, any prehistoric species not in enclosures won't attack or injure your guests, and your safety rating and incident prevention ratings won't be impacted either. Nothing safer than a dinosaur park. And we talked about this yesterday, right? They teased this yesterday, and I was like, okay, but then guests also need to respond appropriately and not panic. And this image here confirms that. You can see here that the guests are just walking calmly, they're staying on the path. This dude has managed to identify a dinosaur instead of pointing to a tree or empty air, which is very impressive. Well done, you, sir. But yeah, this is super exciting. I feel like Parasaurolophus might be stretching the realism of it a little bit, but like you can have Homalocephali or Dryosaurus, you know, smaller, cuter dinosaurs. You can just have them free roaming in your park, you know, like peacocks at the zoo, and I think that's super adorable. I think it makes your park builds a lot more interactive, and I think with some finagling, you can get some really good petting zoos with this new setting. Like, I've been building petting zoos for a while, but this is like taking it to the next step, so that's really cool. The final bit of the forum post is about some additional sandbox mode settings, like you'll be able to now enjoy all maps in sandbox mode without having to meet their unlock requirements. So for new fans of the game, that's absolutely fantastic. Literally, when you buy the game, you can just start building a sandbox right away. You don't have to unlock anything, not the maps, not the dinosaurs, not any of the buildings. You have everything unlocked. You'll also find that you can now add cosmetic damage to your sandbox buildings without affecting gameplay. Found under the demolish menu option, you can choose to make your buildings look a little more worse for wear. Oh my god, I know you guys have been asking for me to do another abandoned park, and I'm so glad. I am so glad that I waited, because this is the way to go. So yes, I'm adding abandoned park build to like the top of my priority list. Super exciting. Is this gonna be even more exciting than the dinosaur hostility? No, I don't think so. I think the dinosaur hostility thing is more versatile. But yeah, this demolish feature is getting me really excited. Of course, this forum post was just the highlights. The full patch notes on all the quality of life changes as well as bug fixes will be available on August 10th. I will be covering that in a video as well, you know, in case you don't feel like reading stuff yourself and you just want to hear me, I don't know, rattle on about it. I don't know. I appreciate you guys coming to the channel and just sharing in the excitement. I hope I can provide that service at least. And I appreciate you watching if you've made it this far, and consider subscribing to the channel so you'll get like the video on the patch notes, you'll get the full DLC showcase, you'll get to see that abandoned park build and many other things that are like happening in my brain right now. I'm very excited. However, all of that being said, I do want to go back to a little bit of the negatives, or like the missing things. You know, the fact that Megalodon isn't coming in the DLC, that's one thing, you know? I'm not miffed about that at all. The dunk is awesome. I wouldn't trade the dunk for anything in the world, not even Megalodon. However, the fact now is that we're getting a lagoon species DLC, and the only improvement to the lagoon itself is the underwater lagoon viewing dome. That's it. There's no mention of being able to make the water more shallow or deeper. There's no mention of foliage brushes, you know, like the much requested kelp brush. So for me, I am running into the issue that this DLC, this pack, is being held back still by the limitations of the lagoon itself. The lagoons are still quite boring. I don't think one attraction is enough to really change the lagoons and how exciting they're gonna be. There's no mention in this update about new behaviors for the marine species either. Like in that tease, we thought we saw two Shonisaurus do something of a thing underwater, and the Archelon on the rock, it looked like they had an interactive animation. Maybe that is coming to the game. I don't want to like say for sure that it's not, but you know, if they are adding more marine creature animations, certainly that would count as a highlight, right? Certainly that would count as something that you would mention in your Jurassic World Evolution 2 free update 7 highlight post. So yeah, I'm a little worried about that. it's just a bit disappointing, you know? I feel like it's such a missed opportunity, and I'm worried that however exciting the Dunkleosteus and the Archelon and Shonosaurus and Nothosaurus are, however great they are, I feel like they're being hampered by the environment that they are put into. The rock thing is not mentioned here, so I'm guessing that's exclusive to the DLC because only the Archelon and Nothosaurus, 2 DLC creatures, can interact with it. But really, is that enough to make the lagoons more interesting? Only time will tell, I guess, but my gut reaction to this is that just like with the current lagoon species, I really loved looking at them at the start when the game first launched. And then over time, I just grew really bored with it in a way I haven't with any of the other creatures. With like the regular land animals and the flying reptiles, I haven't gotten bored with them and with designing their habitats, but I've gotten bored with the lagoons, even though they have amazing species. I think this is the big mistake. I think no Megalodon is fine, because again, dunk. But no kelp brush? No anything really to customize the lagoons? Like, there's not even a mention of new decorations. It is concerning, but I don't want to end it on a negative. I'm gonna go back to Happy Evo. I need to because I'm dealing with a very sick rabbit right now, so I want to focus on the positives. At the end of the day, the DLC is still great, and this update is still introducing a lot of fantastic things. It's just surprisingly introducing a lot of fantastic things outside of the lagoon. I had really hoped that there would be more fantastic new things inside the lagoons. Yeah, but anyway, next week, a full DLC showcase, full update showcase, many builds coming, so I hope you'll tune in and hit the subscribe like so many others have done in the past week. Thank you very much. Alright, thank you so much for watching, liking, subscribing, and until next time, enjoy the dunk.